Sia, and you're listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. This is a community for self-healers, biohackers, practitioners, and any other helping professionals. You're in the right place if you're seeking conversations about how pain becomes passion, the connection between physical, energetic, mental, and our spiritual self, finding your body's ancient wisdom, the latest biohacking technologies, clinical research, and if you just want to nerd out about complex biochemistry and quantum physics. But this is also for entrepreneurs who seek infinite abundance and a supportive community. So pour a cup of King coffee or Sisters tea and let's join the revolution. Hello and welcome everyone. I am Amanda Panacea and you are listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. Today I am really excited to be interviewing Juraj Kočar. He is the CEO of Somavedic, which is originally why I wanted to have him on the podcast. But he's also an endless optimist with a passion to build and grow projects that have a lot of meaning. So of course we talk all about Somavedic frequency devices and how they work, the science behind it, what it is, what it is not, how it helps to protect against the negative effects of EMFs, which can not only let you have feeling more energy, mental clarity, focus, less anxiety during the day. But then he let me know that he's also releasing an absolute game changer of an app. This new app is able to harness 100% video-based AI technology to measure a range of vital signs with great accuracy, just using your smartphone. Some of these measurements and biomarkers include blood pressure, oxygen saturation, heart rate variability, stress levels, and also is capable of doing the world's first bloodless test measuring hemoglobin without any physical contact. So please listen to the end to hear about not only Somavedic, but also this brand new app that's going to be changing the world in reality. And listen up for all the discount codes as well. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Panacea, and welcome to the Healer Revolution podcast. I'm super excited to be here with the CEO of Somavedic, Juraj. I hope I said that name correctly. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, you got that right, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm excited to have you on because I own a Somavedic. I have for a couple years now. And I don't know how to explain to people exactly how it works and why it's so powerful. I've worked with tons and tons of clients and they say the same thing. Like when I got it, I felt this overwhelming sense of relaxation or peace. And so I wanted to have you on to discuss what exactly is behind how it works and what are EMFs? Do they have anything to do with it? And kind of get into the actual science behind it.
Sure. So Somavedic is basically a desktop subtle frequency therapy device. So it looks like a lamp, you put it on a table in the living room or you plug it in and that's it. That's all you need to do. But what's so different about Somavedic, that inside of each Somavedic there are various precious stones and minerals and energy amplifiers together with our frequency therapy technology. And this combination is basically manifesting into various ways. But one of the ways you described about your experience. So the Somavedic is creating this coherent field around it, approximately 100 feet radius to the left, to the right, up, down, penetrating the walls and floors. So usually one Somavedic is enough for one household. And on a high level, explanation would be, that this coherent space is allowing body to start the self-healing processes, and the field is supporting the body to do that.
Beautiful. Yeah. So I use bioresonance testing in my practice. And so here on the podcast, the people listening are pretty familiar with frequency and how our cells emit various frequencies and how pathogens and everything in the universe has its own frequency patterns that are measurable. So with Somavedic, what's so unique is you're using these precious stones and certain types of glass, plus being able to plug it in. That makes a big difference, right?
Yes, exactly. It's because there are various EMF effects harmonizers out there.
Yeah.
They all of them work on different principles. Like they are totally different from each other. And our approach is basically to amplify the natural frequencies and vibrations of precious stones and minerals. So and it's great that you mentioned like bioresonance devices, because there's a short story that I'll mention, like behind Somavedic, because necessity is the mother of invention. So this was the case with Somavedic as well. I'm the CEO, but a dear friend of mine is the inventor. His name is Ivan, and he basically he was struggling with with his health, and doctors were not able to help him. So he turned to Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine, and he found out that some of the things that are happening to him are caused by EMFs and geopathic zones. And this was more than 12 years ago. So when he found out this, so he started to do some testing. He learned a lot with from the Eastern approach to health and wellness, and he was able to heal himself. Then he was trying to help others, like family and friends, because he's a he's a mathematician, he's an IT guy, he's not like a doctor or anything like that, but it was working for them as well. And then he decided, like, why not to put the knowledge and experience into a device so he could help, or the device could help more people to mitigate these effects of geopathic zones and EMFs. So the first Somavedic was introduced in April 2011, and not even a year after that, at that time, the biggest bioresonance producer reached out to Ivan that they have these amazing results with the Somavedic, that they've been testing it, if he basically white label Somavedics for them. So this was one of the very early proofs that the Somavedic is working.
Interesting. That's really cool. Yeah, I was wondering, how did this even come about? And of course, everybody has their own backstory. So how did you get into the field? You mentioned that the inventor was one of your dear friends. Did you have your own health journey or history or anything like that?
Yes, I had my own health issues, as with lots of people, like we struggle with some challenging things, then we get out of it, and then lots of people decide to like help others based on the experience. So this was with Ivan, this was with me, this was with a lot of other people out there. And so it was around 2012 when I was dealing with blood pressure and cholesterol and headaches and brain fog, and it was from my lifestyle. Then I was at the university and lots of things happening there. So so throughout the 6 years, it took its toll, and I had to, again, the doctors just gave me pills, and I started that time to be a bit awake or aware of that. When I've asked them for how long should I take the pills, they said like, well, this is forever, so I said like, okay, I don't I don't want them. And I start my own, research, and I changed dramatically my diet and then lifestyle, and the effects were within 6 months, I got rid of all of all of the symptoms. So that was like a huge sign for me to go on and everything. And after this, like this transformation, I had this sort of like calling or urge that I want to help other people as well on their journey. And I studied like IT, like computers. So this was not the topic, but I had my like 9-to-5 job, and a few years after that, I've met a dear friend of mine that I was visiting, and in his living room there were these beautiful colored lamps, because I didn't know what it was. So I asked him about it, and he told me, yeah, the Somavedic is doing this and that. He told me some interesting stories, and immediately it basically clicked, and I said, like, wow, like this is interesting. This is something that I would like to like explore and do, because it's a product, I could potentially distribute it worldwide. So this was my journey to how became involved in Somavedic.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. And so you mentioned a couple words, EMFs and geopathic zones. What exactly are these two things?
Yes. So geopathic zones are known, for example, in China for thousands of years. They also call it like dragon veins, and they were able to see how the animals like behave, where they lie down, where is a geopathic zone and where not. But you can also find out thanks to dozers. Dozers can also find the spots for geopathic zones where they are. But what a geopathic zone is, in most cases, it's for example, below the Earth's surface, there's a flowing river, and that vibration of the flow is surfacing, and it's not well, in the long term, it's detrimental to our health. So, and there are some studies done that just removing bed, what that you have in your bedroom on a geopathic zone, if you move it like few feet to the side, that basically your health will improve. So geopathic zone is a natural occurring thing in nature, and so it's causing so-called geopathic stress in the long term. So this is in a nutshell geopathic zone. And EMFs are different, because EMFs are man-made. Of course, there's partial EMFs from sun and from the universe, but currently, like all of the EMFs we are bathing in are man-made. And EMF stands for electromagnetic frequencies, and it's on a high level, it's the invisible field or frequency or wave that devices communicate with each other. Just for example, like we are doing right now, like cell phones, Bluetooth headset, everything that is wireless, remote control, like you name it. So in order to work, they need to be communicating wirelessly, and that is thanks to thanks to these signals, and different devices emit different amounts of EMFs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so how exactly does the Somavedic help to harmonize? Like, excuse my ignorance, but like, if it still works, how is it harmonizing? Like, can you explain
Yes,
that?
no, yeah, I understand. So,
okay.
Sometimes people, like write us that, hey, like it is not working. because I bought I have an EMF meter and I put it next to Somavedic, and it's showing the same results or same levels of EMFs, and that is true. Because Somavedic is not like mitigating the actual EMFs, it's mitigating the effects of the EMFs, and not only EMFs, geopathic zones and other environmental stressors. So the field the Somavedic is creating is mitigating these effects on the cellular level. That means we've done some tests. Well, not we. In Germany, they've done some tests, and they put human cells into EMF environment, into non-EMF environment, like shielded environment, and into the EMF environment with a Somavedic. And they were measuring the levels of the speed of regeneration. And there was a big difference between the cells when they were in EMF environment, which is the standard environment we live in, and between the shielded environment, which you can find rarely in nature, I would say, but yeah. And then there was the third, the usual EMF environment with a Somavedic next to it, and there you could see clear correlation between the cell regeneration. So the EMFs were there, but still the cells were regenerating. There was like 50% improvement. It was not that it would 100% like the cells would behave as in non-EMF environment. That's just like not possible. But there was like a 50% improvement in the cell regeneration. So it's working on the cellular level, because what EMFs are causing is increased levels of free radicals, because they open so-called VGCCs, voltage gate calcium channels, on our cells. So the calcium gets inside, and then this is a trigger for oxidative stress. And the cells start to age faster. So yeah, it's this field on a cellular level that is helping to mitigate these effects.
Mm-hmm. Have you had to give up coffee for health reasons? Maybe because of the stress it was putting on your adrenals, maybe because it was messing with your sleep, maybe because you felt terrible after drinking it, or maybe because you were told coffee had mold on the beans and you needed to stay away from mold. Well, what if I told you there's an organic, mycotoxin-free, quality coffee that contains reishi spores or Ganoderma lucidum? Ganoderma lucidum helps to modulate your immune system, adapt to stress, balance hormones, and doesn't give you the jitters or shakes like regular coffee used to. Sounds too good to be true, right? It's called King Coffee by the company Organo. And King Coffee came into my life when I was struggling with chronic hives, full body eczema, and mast cell activation syndrome. I hadn't drank coffee in years because it made me feel anxious, shaky, and clammy. So I had no expectations that drinking King Coffee would be any different. However, I decided to give it a try after seeing lots of amazing practitioners talk about the benefits of reishi online. I tried a 7-day sample and the chronic hives were gone by day 5. I was in shock. After that, I dove into the research on reishi and found that there are over 3,000 peer-reviewed PubMed clinical trials using reishi Ganoderma as an intervention. The company Organo also has a patent protected on their harvesting process. They double crack open the spore shells, which makes them up to 80% more potent than the body of the reishi, which is usually used in other reishi products. This also makes the spores 90% more bioavailable for your body to use. If you would like to try King Coffee, visit thehealerrevolution.myorganogold.com, or for a 7-day trial, you can check out my link tree on my Instagram at Amanda Panacea. Yeah. So when I first got mine, I have my boyfriend that I live with, he tends to think that I buy a bunch of like woo-woo stuff and crystals and things like that. And I had quite a few different EMF mitigating devices prior to buying the Somavedic. As you can kind of see from my background, I live in a high rise and I work on a computer all day. So I was like, I have to just keep getting things and trying things out, stones and salt lamps and other copper coils and things like that. And when I got Somavedic, I didn't want to tell him because I just wanted to do an experiment, see if he felt different. And that night and day, I woke up the next day and I was like, did you feel any different yesterday, last night? And he was like, yeah, how did you know? I was really, really sick. Like I felt like I was going to throw up all night. And he's chronically had digestive issues. And I was like, something, it was working. So I've heard people say like plug it in for 1 hour first if you tend to be sensitive, just to prevent any sort of like symptoms or detox reactions. So is there anything that people should look out for or do to kind of titrate up when they first get one?
Yeah, so in about 20%, 20 to 30%, our customers, they have, we call it like a detox effect, because all of a sudden, your body is in total energetically different environment, and lots of things start to happen, and this can manifest into like headaches, or it usually it lasts just for a few hours and then it's gone, and it's never back. It's just it's telling you that something is going on. For example, it was interesting that when I was visiting that friend of mine for the first time, I didn't feel anything different, and there were like, I don't know, like 20 Somavedics, because he was a distributor, so he had it everywhere in boxes, plugged in, and etc. But so I took one home, and when I plugged it in, like few seconds after that, like my jaw started to buzz like electricity or something like that. So for me, it was interesting to be, when I was thinking about it, that you are in space with lots of Somavedics and you don't feel anything, but once you are at home in your like home environment and plug it in, it really makes this difference. So people are experiencing various, let's say, detox effects. They are usually just a short term. Some people, and my colleague said it, that with what happened with her family, that her husband fall asleep, and she said he never sleeps in the afternoon, like never. And I plugged it in, and in 15 minutes he was sleeping like for an hour. He just like fell on the sofa and was sleeping. So that's, and like so that's one of one of the reactions. So it differs.
Yeah, I've had anything from having like chronic pain completely disappear to like feeling like they were detoxing molds and candida and all sorts of crazy testimonials. I've posted some of them on my Instagram because, yeah, even if it's placebo effect for a second, your cells are aligning and your coherence of your body has shifted and things start to happen, and it's just really fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. When you like mentioned the detox, like one of my friends, like she said, I had to run like to toilet like 5 times a day, but like she said, like, yeah, it's because she understood like this is a good thing, that
Yes.
the body is cleaning. So yeah, there are like different things.
Yeah. And so the one that I have is the Green Medic. And that one also does something really cool, which helps to structure the water. Can you explain what that means and how it does that?
Yes. So some people may be familiar with Masaru Emoto, the Japanese scientist, that he was the first one in the mainstream, at least, that brought attention to how our emotions are influencing the structure of water. So he took, he froze like water, took a picture under the microscope, and you could see usually this chaotic, very chaotic, like a snowflake or frozen crystal of water, or you could see a very nice geometry that looked like a snowflake. So, and he showed that how different like words or emotions are, how the water is responding to them. And so the Somavedic is doing something similar, or basically the same. It is restructuring the water or harmonizing the water, because there are various studies showing that water has memory, that so whatever pipes it's going through and whatever chemicals were there, even though you clean it on the physical level, the energetic, let's say, blueprint remains there unless it's restructured. And there are various ways how you can restructure the water. It's because in nature we have, of course, structured water usually in rivers, but you can find structured water in at your home, or in like tap water or plastic bottles. So you have to restructure it. So there are various ways, by spinning, like vortexing the water. You can do it via, let's say, a Somavedic, and I'll explain how. Or you can do it, you don't need anything, and you can do it like yourself, because everybody can restructure the water. You just put the water in your glass, and you're thinking for a while, like sending positive thoughts, and this will restructure the water. So you don't need any device. But of course, people, we are a bit, I would say, a bit lazy, or it's more convenient to put a big jug of water next to a Somavedic, and we just pour and then drink from it. So the same field, the same coherent field that Somavedic is creating is also causing the water to restructure, to harmonize itself. Usually we recommend placing the water next to the Somavedic, right next to it. It doesn't need to be on top, just anywhere around it. And you can leave it there for 15-20 minutes or all day, it doesn't matter, but at least for 15-20 minutes. And then it's restructured, and you could usually taste the difference. It's more smooth, more silky. Sometimes people say it's a bit sweeter. So, and why is this important is that the structured water provides better hydration. It is the best bioavailable state of water. So if you drink glass of structured water and glass of non-structured water, your body is able to absorb, let's say, much more from the structured water. And this has lots of, like positive effects. Because, for example, one of our first employees, Tara from US, she had this like migraines quite frequently. And she said that since she got the Somavedic back, since she got the Somavedic home and turned it on and started to drink structured water, they never got back. And she was suffering for years. So, it might be the EMFs, it might be different other things. It might be also caused with not enough hydration, or it could be the combination. But whatever it was, it basically helped her, to get rid of the like headaches or migraines.
Yeah, my Somavedic's in the kitchen next to my water, actually. So that's where, because when I first got it is when I was still dealing with symptoms from mold exposure, and I had the the dehydration, frequent urination symptom really bad. And the Somavedic was one thing that really helped. Another thing is because I have reverse osmosis water, it completely dead, no structure. So I think that helped tremendously with that symptom. But still with reverse osmosis, I still have to add minerals back in. So I actually just got a new filter. It's on the way, but that's a different story.
Yeah, but you mentioned placebo. And when we are talking about water and effects of Somavedics, we, in lots of cases, we can definitely rule out the placebo. Because, for example, as you mentioned with your husband, you know, even people that have no idea that Somavedic is help, they can change or feel different. And so for example, pets and dogs behave differently, or small children, some with ADHD, they are more focused or a bit calmer, or even plants grew faster, you know, so they have bigger leaves, etc. So this is, you know, how one of the direct or indirect ways how we can lots of times like rule out the like placebo effect. But it's anyway, it like it's nothing bad. Like placebo is a good thing. So
right. Yeah, I tell people that all the time. If you can literally change your mind about something or believe in something, who cares? If it's working, it's working.
Yes, exactly. I mean, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. So there's so many different models of Somavedic. Can you explain what the differences between all of them are?
So there are two main ways how to differentiate between Somavedic models, is that if they are strong enough to mitigate the 5G effects, and if they structure water. So the one you have, the Medigreen Ultra, we have now a new model called Vedic, but that is the most versatile all-in-one device we have. You know, it's strong enough to mitigate 5G. It has the water structuring capabilities. And then, so we have three main products, like the Medigreen Ultra or the Vedic, and we have one stronger, much stronger than that. It's called Ember, and is designed, you know, for like city centers and corporate buildings, or if you have really like 5G towers like around your home. So, and then we have one on a bit weaker than the Medigreen or the Vedic, and it's not structuring the water, and that's called Sky. And then we have basically a small version for cars or hotels called Traveler or Harmony. So yeah, and then we have red, ruby, and the blue cobalt, but those are, let's say, supportive models. But the main are those three that I mentioned.
I thought I saw a while back you had a gold one, which was very expensive.
We still have it. I didn't mention it. It's a custom made model. We don't have it in stock. So through some you know, life-changing events, Ivan, the inventor of Somavedic, you know, started, you know, like astro travels and became very, let's say, intuitive and sensitive. And the way how the gold model works is that we need the potential customer's photo and date of birth, and he basically tunes into that and will put together a special custom-made heart. We call it heart. So he will put a special one just for the customer. So that's what is the Somavedic Gold.
Yeah, it was very pricey, but it's like one day. And then I also have your all's necklace. How does that work? What is that made out of?
Yeah, so we have like a necklace, portable or a tiny. So those work on the principle that you have to place it next to Somavedic, so they pick up the frequencies, and they can store it for some time, usually day or two. It depends on what kind of environment you are in. So you can take it to school or to work. So basically, but then after a day or two, it's ideal to place it again next to the Somavedic, for example, during the night, so it recharges and picks up the frequencies again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with imprinting frequencies on like in oils or alcohol for homeopathy and things like that.
Yes.
So it works kind of like that. Got it.
Yes.
Awesome. And then you mentioned before we started that you have a really cool new project that's coming out soon. I would love for you to talk about that.
Yes, and we are really excited about that because our team was able to put together like an app that just through your front camera on your phone, it will scan your face, and based on AI learning and machine learning and lots of like huge amounts of data, like clinical data, it will show you your blood pressure, your heart rate variability, your stress levels, if your body is in flight or flight, it will be able or is able to show cholesterol levels, which is like pretty magic, almost magic, that just from your face it's able to, thanks to the blood and veins below your skin, it's able to pick this up and tell you the results. And one of the most interesting parts is that it will be able, it's able to tell you if the percentage level of how pre-diabetic you are, if not. So at what stage you are, if there's a potential. So you can take this data and like use it as often as you want, and if they will remain the same, then it might be a good thing, if you don't like what you see, to visit the doctor and then talk to him about it, because we don't give any like medical advice. We just provide some kind of insights on the data.
Wow, that's really amazing. I'm surprised that you're going to make that available to just the public and not like medical professionals first.
Yeah, it will be to the public. And we definitely have already some potential like clients in the corporate world, because luckily current big companies, more and more of them wanna see their employees in the best shape possible, so they can be more efficient and everything. So the stress levels are high due to lots of things that are going on currently. So thanks to this app, they don't need to send their employees to a doctor and pay like 100 or 150 for check or anything. They can just use like this app and have a result within a minute, with a fraction of the price.
Yeah, that's insane. Can you explain how that works at all? Like, is this just looking at like the quality of the photo and what your skin looks like? Because I'm familiar with looking at facial features to determine like nutrient deficiencies and things like that. Is this kind of similar?
Okay. Yeah, well, so it's basically there's a like infrared camera and various it's scanning various like light spectrum your skin and blood is emitting, and based on that and the huge amount of data that we learn the algorithms on, it's able, to tell you or show you this kind of results. And we have, when you enter your gender and age, we have 99% accuracy compared to medical devices. So it's very, very accurate.
Wow.
And you don't need any wearable. You don't need any watch or Oura ring or blood pressure monitor, or you don't need to, any, they don't need to take your blood. Everything is basically just from your phone.
Wow. So I knew frequency testing was going to be the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really incredible. Congrats. I'm sure it's going to just take off.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that's all from the team of scientists at Somavedic?
Yes. Well, for this, we have a different group that was working on it. Yes.
Okay. Amazing. Well, I'm really excited for that app to come out. I will definitely be getting that. So keep me updated.
I will.
Awesome. So is there anything else you'd like to let the audience know before we kind of wrap it up?
Well, I would just like them, to, because, it's the Somavedic is you have to experience it.
Yeah.
For some people don't feel anything at all, and it doesn't mean that it's not working. It just they don't feel any different. Some people feel the difference right away. Some people feel the difference after some time. And that's why we have a 60-day money back guarantee. So you can just test it out for 2 months, basically risk-free, and see if it's worth for you or not. And you can decide to keep it or just send it back, and we'll give you the full refund. So I would basically invite people to really test it and have their own experience with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really generous money back guarantee. And something I'd also like to point out is that because I work one-on-one with people, and when your symptom is gone, you tend to forget that you even had it. So people tend to think like, well, I still feel like this, and so I don't think what we're doing is working. And so then you get out, their symptom questionnaire from when they first started, and you're like, okay, well, what about this? Is that better? What about this? Is this better? And they're like, oh, actually, those are gone. So make sure you take like a detailed list of the things maybe that you're experiencing before you plug it in and make that decision.
Yes, definitely. And because when, we have similar stories. I was just I was not thinking about them, but yes, some customers, or friends, the close ones we know, had it for like 6 months, and they said like, I don't know, like I don't feel anything, and then we were just basically discussing other things, and all of a sudden I found out that okay, like this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. So yes, it's like exactly like you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that tends to happen with just people in general. Like if you have a stabbing pain in your leg, you're going to be thinking about it 24/7. And then all of a sudden, 3 days later, you're like, when did that pain go away? Like it's gone. You can't remember.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, today was a really fun conversation. I really appreciate your time and coming on to the podcast. For everyone listening, I do have a discount code for Somavedic. It's Panacea, PANACEA. So you can use that for trying them out. And the link and everything for how to find them will also be in the show notes. So thank you so much, and happy Friday for you.
Thank you, Amanda, for having me.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. I am just so thrilled that you're listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. This has been a huge passion project for me and super therapeutic on top of that, helping me to use my voice and connect with other like-minded individuals. So if you're enjoying the podcast, please like and subscribe. Please share on social media or with your audience or friends or loved ones. I truly appreciate it. It does take a lot of time and financial costs to run the podcast, and it is not a moneymaker, let me tell you. So if you are enjoying this, I would truly appreciate your support just by sending me a post, a like, and a subscribe. Thank you so much.